Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be testing out these two ColourPop palettes. If you don't know, ColourPop is an American brand. You can only order from their American website. I'm just going to quickly explain a little bit more about ColourPop and their website and their shipping and their prices, just to give you guys an idea. So, on ColourPop, if you spend over $60, you'll get free international shipping. ColourPop have kindly on some countries, not all, but on some countries they have added your customs fees and duties onto the cart, so you're not going to be surprised when it arrives to your door and you suddenly have to pay like €30 fees. Because ColourPop products are so affordable, you will get so many products for $60. $60 is a lot of money to spend, but because ColourPop products are so cheap yet so good, you will get so much for your money, if that makes sense. So I do recommend, if you are going to do it, do a massive order so you avail of the free shipping, but also you will get so many products at one time. So for these palettes here that I have to try, I've got their Blush Crush and their Nude Mood palette. These two palettes come individually or you can buy them as a bundle. I checked on the website before I started this video because I wanted to check for you guys. Even though I got these as gifts, I wanted to give you a little bit of information about them. Each palette retails for $14 each, or you can buy them together in a set for $28. So you're not really saving money, but they do just come together. So it's up to you if you want one or the other, or you want both. These palettes are really slim. They are really travel friendly. And like I said, $14 each, 28 together. You could literally buy 5 palettes for $60. So if you are going to do an order, make sure you are availing of the free international shipping, because otherwise it's going to cost you a lot more. So in today's video, I have decided I'm going to put one palette on one eye and one palette on the other eye, just because I do want to test the both of these. In the beginning, when I was looking at these palettes, I thought, you know, maybe I could mix and match from these palettes to create an eye look. But when you actually look at these palettes, they're both very different to each other. So this palette here is their Blush Crush palette. When you open it, this is what it looks like. It has a load of pinky mauvey tones, and it has a few glitters, a few shimmers, and a few mattes. Now, the only thing about these palettes is they don't come with a mirror, but I think that's what makes them so affordable. So that's just something to note. If you were to travel with them, you're going to need something else with a mirror, because these palettes don't have them. And then the second palette that I have is the Nude Mood palette. This is what the Nude Mood palette looks like. It's a load of brownie, warm tones. With these two palettes, you can make very different eye looks, and that's what I'm going to show you. So on my left side, I'm going to use the Blush Crush palette, and then on my right side, I'm going to use the Nude Mood palette. I've also prepped my eyelids with the Louise base in the shade 2, just for reference. And that's what I always use. That's what I will always use for eyeshadow. I just think your eyeshadow turns out way better when you have prepped your eyes with the Louise base. But yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm going to start off with my left side. I'm going to use the Blush Crush palette. So I'm going to take a Zoeva 232 Luxe Classic Shader Brush, and I'm going to take the shade here, which is called Lovesick. And I'm actually just going to set my brow bone area with this colour. I am now going to take this shade here, which is called the One, and I'm going to pop this through my crease. I'm now going to take this shade here, which is called Cheek to Chic, and I'm just going to put it a little bit below that colour there. So first off, I'm going to say these shadows are blending beautifully. So I'm literally just blending that just a little bit lower and more on my outer V here. And then I'm going to go back in my original brush, and I'm not taking any extra product, and I'm just going to blend that out. So I'm going to take this shade here, which is How Rogue. Now, this has a little bit of shimmer in it, and I have heard that companies sometimes put shimmer into their mattes to make them more blendable, because the shimmer changes the formula of the eyeshadow, and especially on colours like purples that might be a little bit harder to blend, they put a little bit of shimmer in. So I don't mind taking this through my crease. So I'm just going to take it on a smaller brush and I'm going to pop on my outer corner. So far I am really liking this palette and I'm really liking the shades in it. The only thing I wish in this palette was that there was a little bit more mattes. So I've just put that on my outer corner, and like I said, I'm just going to keep going back into my other brushes that I've used to blend this out. As you can see, I'm blowing it out quite a bit. So I would like to go in with a darker colour again, but there actually is no darker colour except for this one. But this one is pure shimmer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep blending this out, and then I'll be back to you to give you my verdict on the look so far. Okay, so far I'm really liking the mattes in this. They blended absolutely beautifully, and so has that shimmer shade as well. Now I feel like I'm going to take one of the shimmer shades to put on my lids, but I don't know which one. I think I'm going to go with this one here. This is the shade, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, Enamored. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the crease with my P2B's base, and then I'll be back to you. So now I'm going to take that shade Enamored, I feel like I'm butchering it, and I'm going to pop it where I popped the P2B's base. So my thoughts so far on this palette is I do love the palette. I think it is absolutely beautiful. I just wish there was a little bit more mattes in it, just because I feel like you're not able to get as deep of a look if you wanted it unless you're fine with putting shimmer in your crease, which for some people you might be like, yeah, that's fine, I don't really care. But for me, I prefer not to have shimmer in my crease, especially with purples and pinks, just because sometimes it can look like you have a bruised eye if there's shimmer going on in your crease. This colour here, Enamored, is very subtle, like very subtle, but it is very pretty. I'm just gonna take a small little brush like this and go into the shade Cheek to Chic, just to blend between the shimmer and the dark purple. But yes, I'm very happy with this eye look. I think it turned out beautifully. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the shades that I use on the top on my bottom lash line. I'm going to start by taking How Rogue, which was the deep shimmery purple, and I'm going to pop that on my outer eye. And then I'm going to blend that out using Cheek to Chic. So now that this looks like this, I'm going to take the last shade of this palette, and I'm going to take the shade Pop a Bottle, which is this gorgeous kind of champagne-y toned glitter, and I'm going to pop this on my inner corner and my brow bone. So today we have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 9 shadows to create this eye look, which I think is incredible considering there wasn't many matte shades. I do think that this palette is actually a very good palette. I think it is beautiful. I think it is nice if you really love your pinky shimmery tones. So I'm gonna go in with the Nude Mood palette now. Now this palette, I feel like I'm gonna get so much more of a look out of it, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade here, which is the shade Bluffin', and once again I'm going to set my brow bone. So next I'm going to take this shade here, which is the shade Bare to Wear, and like the other eye look, I'm going to run this through my crease. So I'm just going to keep building this crease up. So I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is the shade Au Natural, and I'm going to pop this just a little bit lower than that first shade. These shadows are blending in beautifully. Like this shade here is just, it's like butter. They're literally like butter. So now that I have those two shades down, I can already tell I'm in love with this palette. It's absolutely beautiful. To deepen it even more, I am now going to go into this shade here, which is the shade Moody, and I'm going to pop this even lower down and pop it into my crease. So we're kind of making like a soft glam type look, which, if you know, that's my favorite type of look to do. This palette especially is coming with me to every country that I go to because they are just blending beautifully, and Nicole was always going on about them, but you know when you're just like, oh, the thought of paying like customs and shipping and stuff like that. Now I know why she does so many orders, because these shadows are absolutely beautiful. So now that I've got that shade on, I'm going to go back into the last brush that we used and just blend that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade here, which is the shade Put On Airs. It's this absolutely beautiful metallic goldy shade. I'm actually going to use my finger for it and pop it all over the lid. I want to put this here so you can see. So to blend between the colours that we have on the outside and the colour that we have here, I'm going to go into this shade here because it has a little bit of gold shimmer in it, but it's still close to this shade here. So this is the shade Mugged Off. Now there is this random pinky shade in it, and I don't think I can use it for inner corner just because this makeup look is more of a brownie look. However, I'm going to go into the Blush Crush palette and I'm going to take this shade here, which is the shade Pop a Bottle, because it does have flecks of gold. Even though it does have flecks of pink, it has flecks of gold too. So I'm just pressing this on my inner corner. Now, like the other eye, what I'm going to do to the top, I'm going to do to the bottom now. So let's go. I'm going to take the shade here, which is Moody, and I'm going to pop that tight to my lash line. And to blend it out, I'm going to take this shade here, which is Au Naturel, on a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to blend that out. I'm going to quickly pop on some mascara and I will be right back. So guys, I have just stuck on some mascara and I put on a little bit of lipstick just so I don't look naked, but that is the end of today's video. So a quick rundown on these two palettes. Do I think they're worth $14 each? Yes, 1000%. I think you cannot go wrong. $14 for a 9-pan eyeshadow palette is absolutely insane. You are getting an insane formula for that price and for that many eyeshadows. The only thing I will say is, if you are going for these palettes, just keep an eye on how many mattes, how many shimmers, how many glitters are in the palettes, just because you may be caught with very limited eye looks, unless you just want them for at home and not for traveling and not for everyday use, and you are just a makeup artist who wants a load of palettes, then definitely pick up whichever one that you think suits. The Blush Crush palette, the one that I did first, was this eye look here. I do think this is an absolutely beautiful palette. I think the shimmers, the mattes and the glitters all blended in absolutely perfectly. I would prefer a few more matte shades. However, the glitter in the crease with this shade here, Heroic, honestly you can barely see it. It looks like it's just coming off of this glitter shade here, so I honestly do not mind that whatsoever. But I think this palette is absolutely beautiful. It is so versatile. I think you'll get so many looks out of it, and if you're really into shimmers in an eyeshadow, then definitely pick up this palette here. However, if you are like me and you prefer more warm tones, more matte shades with one really good glitter, then I think this palette here is the one for you. Again, this is the Nude Mood palette. You have so many more mattes. You've 1, 2, 3 mattes. I'd say 2 shimmery mattes, 1 shimmer and 2 glitters, which I think is absolutely amazing. And this palette has so many colors in it that you could use to create a soft glam look. You can go deeper with the shade Moody to create it a more smoky look. You can use the shade a smoky liner. I just think this palette here everyone needs in their life, and especially for this glitter, because it is absolutely beautiful. One thing is, and I know this is such a silly thing, but I do wish there was like one whitish or gold toned highlighting shade, so for your inner corners or for your brow bone, because for me this one's too pink to use, especially if I'm doing like an orangey warm toned eye. Our ColourPop 9-pan eyeshadows worth it, 1000%. I think you need these. I think you should definitely do an order. Remember what I said about international shipping and fees and customs. I think they are absolutely beautiful, and I will definitely be repurchasing more. If you'd like to see more ColourPop testing videos from me, please let me know. Please let me know what you would like me to try from them. I think I will definitely be doing an order very soon on their eyeshadows and on their lips. I have their Skinny Dip Luxe Lip Oil on my lips right now, but I honestly think these are worth it. I cannot wait to use them. I cannot wait to travel with them when we can, and I'm going to get so much use out of these, and again, the price, insane. So guys, that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed me testing out some eyeshadow palettes. I have a few more eyeshadow palettes to test out that you'll be seeing that will be coming very soon, but until then, I hope you have an amazing day. Happy 2021, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.